Hey, all. I will continue to just go through, wait for more people to get in before we get started. All right. Well, first start off with a poll. We're going to go through and we'll get this launched. Just answer for us, and then we can go through and talk about it. Very interested to see the results of this poll. I know all of these can go through and be hurdles when you're going through and working with your clients. All right, cool. Let's go through and hop right into it. We're going to be looking at communication today. So we're your hosts. I'm Derek, and this is Matt. I'll let Matt go through and introduce himself, but a little bit about me. I'm a Georgia Bard attorney and an optimizer here at Vine Skills. I practiced in personal injury for a while. I focused on subrogation, lien resolution, and then moved more into the internal firm compliance, especially when it comes down to the processes and procedures of going through and communicating with clients and client work just in general. So, and I love brainstorming, working on new ideas, and so we can implement creative and logical solutions for a couple of things. So I'm really happy to be here today with Matt.
Great. Thanks, Derek. Super happy to be here. Everyone, my name is Matt McClellan. I'm a co-founder over at Hona. Been deep in legal tech for about 5 years, and I absolutely love it. And so Hona is all about client communication, specifically around giving clients those updates that they really expect and really want, and then also just freeing up the law firm staff time so that manual updates are a thing of the past. I more recently actually worked at Filevine, so fun to be so connected to Filevine still and be able to work with tons of law firms that use Filevine still.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Super pumped to be doing this today with you. All right. So on our agenda today, we have a few things that we want to kind of go over. We want to talk just general Filevine readiness, client communication tips and tools, and then we'll have some time for Q&A later on. You can go through and you can always submit your questions to Q&A or to the Q&A, and then we can potentially answer them. If not, we can, when we get to the Q&A slide, we can go over it then. But first off, we have our Filevine readiness. So when it comes down to actually going through and getting Hona working up in your Filevine, it's really not too difficult at all. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but it's generally just kind of like a yes, no button. And then through the API, you're able to go through and post notifications and connect kind of with Filevine.
That's
Uh,
exactly right. We do have a fail safe in place where if there's somebody you don't want to get automated messages, maybe it's a little more sensitive of a case or a wrongful death case, something like that. We allow you just to go in and click a field in Filevine to completely turn off any automations and any of the Hona updates and stuff like that.
which is really cool. Yeah, especially for those TLC types of clients who need that extra care, wouldn't necessarily want those notifications coming to them. So it's simple to do it. We just have that yes no field. It doesn't take much time, effort, but with the phase based notifications that Hona provides, there is some pre work that I do suggest that you go through and do. That initial setup pretty easy, but you'll want to ensure that you have your phases correctly in FileVine. And what I mean by that is, if you're not using phases, you definitely want to go through and build some out. And I like to think of it this way: what is that process A to Z? What is the first phase that every project's going to go through and see? And generally, what's the last one? I like to try and follow that path so that 90% of my projects will go through and they'll be, or those are the phases that they will go through and touch on. So then we can really leverage these communication features based on the phase change notifications. Uh, you don't have to go through and set every phase to be part of the audit or to be part of this integration, right, Matt?
Correct. Yeah, it's a many to one oftentimes. So if you have a treatment and treatment complete phase that both you want the client to see that they're in the treatment phase, you can do many to one or one to one. It's really kind of robust, and how the firm operates is how we want to connect.
Yeah, and it's that operation is what's really important. Go through, lay out how that flow of your project, how should it look, and think about, what type of information, what key points do you need to be able to go through and talk to your clients about. Of course, we're not going to have the sensitive conversations, especially for the attorneys. Those aren't going to be able to necessarily work here through that, because you really should give them a call and talk to the client. But for all the other duties of keeping the client informed and making sure that they understand where where their project is in the process, is really easy through this. And I've seen too, with your customized text, you can really set your tone, your voice, everything that you want to be able to go and present to your clients. And then you can also go and customize videos, which I've seen a lot of success with. It's actually really cool to see how much more clients feel like they are involved in the process when we have the phases cleanly mapped out, when we have that content prepared and those videos recorded. It's really, really neat. Which kind of brings us into more of our client experience. And we have, corporations has shifted clients' expectations. And I feel like this is true for a lot of things. We're very, the society is, I want to know it now. I want to be able to order this now. I want to be able to get it now. And our clients are going to go through and they're going to be the same.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. Oops, sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Derek, to butt in. Oh, I was just going to say, when I say corporations, and when I made this slide, it has so much to do with like Amazon. You don't call Amazon. You don't get talk to any person usually at Amazon. What you do is you go into the app and you see where your package is. You get a text and it says your package is 10 steps away from your house. And so Domino's Pizza Tracker, they're going to tell you when your toppings are getting put on your pizza. There's all these things that clients just have grown to expect. And so when we built Hona, we built something that's really reminiscent of a Domino's or of an Amazon package tracker, where it's that source of truth where they can go to and not have to send an email or pick up a phone in order to even get that information. So yeah, that's more so the corporations, they've had to build technology to get ahead of the client communication. And so we're enabling law firms with a similar type of technology, all tied into file.
So I could go through and be a client for a law firm, Matt, and be able to know after I've gone through and, let's say, personal injury, I've talked to my attorney, and then they go through, we've talked about the demand, and now they're in negotiations. So if we were to move the phase into if the firm was to move the phase in negotiations, then I, the client, would be able to get all the information that the firm wanted, really spelled out.
Yeah, that's a total common workflow. We also see things like when this action button is clicked, that is start drafting demand. For instance, we see a lot of clients with an action button like that. We can make a trigger where a text message goes out saying, hey, we've now collected all your medical records. We're going to start drafting your demand package. We'll let you know if we need anything else from you, but sit tight. We'll be in touch. Like a text message like that, that's really granular, really relevant to their case at that point in time, goes a long way with the client feeling like, okay, they're on top of it. They're not forgetting things. They'll be in touch. Next step is they'll be in touch. And so you're setting expectations throughout the whole case so that the client doesn't feel like they're being left in the dark you've told them we'll be in touch if there's anything else, but here's what we're doing right now. All automated completely. You can automate so much stuff just because Filevine has really awesome APIs and technology to help us be able to set that stuff up.
That's an awesome time saver. Because then that can go through and I can cut that from my to-do list is make sure that I go through it and I message the client or email the client. It can just easily be done. That's really awesome.
Correct. And we'll even have some clients that are like, we don't want it off an action item. We want to just make a task in the task flow that says send text to client through Hona to do this, or like with quotations of what that text is going to say. And then it's as simple as that. Just complete that task and that text is going to get sent out. So really a ton of time savings can be there. And we've had firms go as granular as you can imagine, for better or worse, honestly. We always, we have really good practices. We work with so many law firms, so we know a lot of the best client communication practices, and we consult on that. But the keys to the car are in your hands as far as how many automations and when those go off.
Definitely. That can save a lot of time. And your second point you have on here with communicated with via SMS, I know I'm really guilty of this and that I am better with email and text message over phone calls. I'm really bad about phone calls and voicemails. And I know from my experience practicing, a lot of our clients are too. I mean, we're all busy people, so it makes it
Yeah.
hard. And
there's a staggering statistic that HubSpot put out about emails that are opened that are sent from law firms to clients. And it's about 22% are even opened. And I'm sure there's people nodding their heads over on the other end in the audience. It's like, it's a staggering thing. And yes, sometimes they have to get to it eventually, but like it is a very low adoption rate for email because we're just living in like my email inbox, and I'm pretty on top of it, has hundreds and hundreds of unread emails. Not my work email, but my personal email. And so because of that, like text messages, I mean, how many unread text messages do you have right now? How many will you have in an hour? Maybe you have a few right now, but they'll all be gone within the next couple of hours. So text message is just the preference of a lot of people right now. And it's common with these corporations. Similar expectation setting, corporations are starting to text more and more. And so it's just that best avenue for getting in touch with clients and getting things done quickly.
Yeah, I know SMS is important to so many people, and it's a great way to just be able to go through and communicate. And I do love how you go through and y'all handle it, being able to message the clients and keep them posted. I love the Domino's, how it's a Domino's activity tracker. That's just perfect analogy for it. It's really cool.
Totally. I think right now might be a good time, Derek. Why don't I pop into my phone and show what the client experience looks like? And
awesome.
We can kind of move from there.
Cool.
So like mentioned, so much of what we've built around is fine-tuning things so that the clients are being interacted with in a way that they're familiar with. They want to text, they want updates, they don't want to have to reach out for those updates. So everything is SMS driven, and it's as simple as this. This is all completely customizable. But it could say, law firm's name's made an update on your case, please check the status. It's as simple as clicking a link. Now, there is a small login process. It's putting in their phone number or email. And then from there, it's as simple as just putting in the 6-digit verification code, and they're going to be logged in. From there, it pulls them right into a curated, customized, white-labeled portal that lets them see where they're at in their case. And this is an example of a personal injury case. I did not actually sue Bear River Mutual. It's just a fun demo case. But here's the treatment phase. You can embed videos. You can add descriptions. Something, and I'm probably going to get a lot of head nods right now, something that one of our clients told us was, hey, I could ask the same 10 questions every single day. And so there's an FAQ section that's completely customized per phase. We allow clients to look forward because naturally, when you get an update, that's great. Okay, I got an update. I'm in the treatment phase. Here's what that means. But what's next? And so they're able to look ahead and be like, okay, demand comes next. Here's a video of my attorney explaining what the demand means and what that phase means of the case. We have clients from personal injury, mass tort, bankruptcy, immigration, family law, like a huge swath and spectrum of law firms that are using this because they're so like there's linear phases to every single case where you can tie things to different milestones throughout the case. And so this allows you to build it out, and you can build it out as many phases as you want, as few phases as you want. Um, yeah, and really just reminiscent of something they're used to. Derek, when you practice law, like how many times did you get asked the same question? How many times was that same question just, where's my case at? What's coming up next?
Constantly. Yeah, absolutely. I worked a lot with the finance team because of the lien resolution, but some of the other clients that I'd consider more of the TLC type of clients, they would constantly call and ask me and the exact same questions just over and over, basically looking for updates on it, on what's going on with that project.
Totally. And um, Derek, you alluded earlier to video content, and we that is the best practice that we see of all of our clients. Those that have video content, their clients stay in the app 4 times longer than those that do not have video content. And so getting them into the app, watching those videos, seeing what's going on in their case really just makes their client experience all the better because once again, we live in a world where people are always watching videos, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. And so here's a video of an attorney explaining what's going on in your case, and it still happens to be your attorney. So it feels really personal, feels right, feels like they made this experience for you and are really taking care of your case. A couple
Yeah,
more
and
things I'll
it's
show. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add to that with the videos. I've seen, clients go through, well, law firms go through specifically, and we start with just our normal text SMS through the file vine, and then I've seen the implementation of Hona. It goes through and it's already reducing client calls, but then when you get those custom videos, that's really up to that next level that goes through and it really cuts things down, and it saves so much time for the people that have to answer the calls, the paralegals, the case managers, legal assistants, and attorneys, for those easy questions that you probably could already just pre-answer in all of your different in your different phases.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what'll happen is this is an ever changing thing. If the reception staff's like, hey, I'm getting asked a ton this week about how long the demand after the demand letter goes out, does it get responded to? It's like, okay, great. We probably should add an FAQ about that because clearly clients, aren't getting that from our current build out. So ever changing and just curated to what your clients are asking and what they want to know. And give them as little as you want because you don't really need to go in great depth because most of their questions are pretty surface level at the end of the day. A couple more things. We pull from the FileVine team tab. You could put, that's just one example. Only Manny has a profile picture in, but you can put profile pictures in, can show who's your attorney, legal assistant, and this all pulls from the team tab. There's some really cool ways we have that built, and it's going to sync. So if you change an attorney or something like that, this page will also change to react to that. I will also show, this is a newer feature that maybe a lot of people, even our own clients that are on this webinar have not seen, but you can build custom forms really reminiscent of like a Google form. This is an example of an intake, but we have forms. A really common one we're seeing is during the treatment phase, you can automate every 2 weeks during the treatment phase a form that says, have you visited any new medical professionals in the past 2 weeks? Yes or no? If yes, what did you have done? Is this a new person? Do we have their records? And you can say, upload any bills or receipts you have from that visit. So a lot of really cool stuff you can do. And that's every single 2 weeks. And you can automate it only during the treatment phase, send this out every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. So a lot of really cool automation there to gather information. And the kicker, and this is going to make a lot of people smile because it makes my nerdy self smile. The kicker is you can connect any of these fields to actual fields in FileVine. And so, for instance, if you have a collection item or something like that where you want this data once filled out to push into FileVine, it'll all automatically happen on the back end when these forms get submitted. And so a lot of really cool time savings there. And these can be used, we have clients using them all over the place, and it just came out like 2 months ago. So sky's the limit with these, and they're really cool. And I'll show you. Yeah, so like if you have any documents from your case, it's as simple. It's literally take a photo of it on your phone, and the speed of your clients giving you data and information that you need to move their case forward just is drastically improving because it's text message. It's very simple. It saves their results. Like if they don't have the photo on the spot and they're sitting in a line at a grocery store, that's fine. They can just, it'll keep reminding them every 2 days or however frequently you want it to remind them to finish this form. So a lot of really cool stuff here that's being a heavy lift for our clients.
That's
Um,
that's really neat because then you can go through and get that client input and excuse me, be able to do so without actually like inviting the client into a guest into the project. They would just be able to, you just sync them right up there. And then you said that you could do this with so many different fields, right? Static and collection sections.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big lift. We work pretty in depth with the Filevine team to make this right. And so yeah, big time savings and huge just user experience thing. Client experience for your client is just elevated because they're not going between text messages and emails and logging into Filevine guest access to add documents or whatever it may be. It's all super curated for them in this really clean little app that has your branding and all that other stuff. So we're really proud of that feature and super exciting. I will show here's going to be a large amount of different projects because I play with our technology a lot and I have a lot of projects. But if they have multiple projects with you, or say the mom is doing everything for their kids that were also in the accident, they can toggle between the different cases just really simply over here on the sidebar. Yeah, that's a lot of what the client experience has to offer. There's more to it. There's so many automations that are working in the background. But as far as your client's experience, that's a pretty good quick summary of what they can do and what you can allow them to have. Cool.
Yes, that is really neat.
Yeah, I was gonna show. I want to pull up kind of the back end and how it looks with Filevine. I think that's right now might be a good time just as we're digging into the tech. Um, so I'm going to share my screen right now of that same case, but existing in Filevine. Couple things, as we mentioned, it's a yes no field. You can put that in any section you want. Most of our clients make it a required field so that during intake or for the clients on the call that use lead docket, you can make it in there as well, where it's like, do you want Hona automations? Yes or no? You can name it whatever you want. But yeah, oftentimes it starts in lead docket or something else and moves into Filevine, and now we have that information that this person can receive automations. Really core to legal our mission and hopefully your team's mission is Filevine is that hub where you want to work out of. You don't want to be going and jumping through tabs just to get your day-to-day work done. And so what we've built is basically Hona just overlaying right on top of Filevine. And so right here, you'll see there's a Chrome extension that we've built, and it's an extension for other browsers as well. But this Chrome extension just sits right on top of Filevine. And it's as simple as this. If you want to text that client, you just click on this. It already pulls up that client's case, and you can send a text message to that client. You know, hey, Matt, could you send me a picture of your driver's license or whatever it may be? So everything's just right at your fingertips, which we're really excited about because legal work gets done in Filevine. Let's enable you guys so that you can do just as much in Filevine and not have to log into different apps and jump between different tabs. Derek, this might be your first time seeing this. What's kind of your reaction to our mission and what we've built to allow people to just work out of Hona from within Filevine?
So this was the first time I've seen it, and that's wonderful. I to me, I'm an Apple user, iPhone user, and to me, it really reminds me of just my text messaging in general. And it's just right there. So it's within the same actual tab, which is really cool. I love this. That's awesome. I'm really excited to go through and actually start messing with that because that is really cool. Makes it simple and easy for the user.
And gone are the days of digging for your text message thread within your activity feed to like find out where that thread is, or accidentally creating a new thread with text messages. Like gone are those days because now you just have a text history right here with this client. But with the strong benefit of everything is still getting posted into Filevine. Like the activity feed's still going to have all these messages. But now here's a more like palatable and clean way to read through them and see what's going on. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff here. I'll brush quickly. There's a few more things you can do. If you want to send like an ad hoc form that's not set up with any type of automation, it's as simple as just clicking send a form, drop down of which form you want to send them, and then clicking send. Super simple. They'll get it by text message immediately. Additionally, this is another new feature that our Filevine people are eating up. The Filevine calendar is great, but for things that are client facing that you need clients to attend. Maybe it's a deposition. You can just build it right here in Hona, Depot. Choose the time that they're going to go. Who's going to attend? Is it going to be another team member? Is it just going to be them? Choose the location. It pulls from Google, so you can like put your office location or whatever it may be, put a description. And then the kicker is this: add a reminder. So you can say, okay, one day before, let's send them a text reminder, and also an hour before, and then also 30 minutes before, whatever it is, it makes the most sense. But this is simple, and you just click add, and boom, it's added to their calendar. They get a text message. They can add it to their Google Calendar or whatever they use personally for calendaring. There's a really quick automation for them to add it to their personal calendar. So yeah, a lot of power comes from this. And all text message. People are more likely to show up. People are going to be ready. You can put links in here to like into the app so that they can see, like, we have an FAQ video of how to prepare for a deposition. Check it out at this link. There's lots of fun stuff you can do from here, but kind of all powered, feeling from within Hona. Just click it over and you make it happen.
Even that basic, even that example of what you went through and said of, hey, like, you have a deposition, you could send something over. That just, I know for me, that would save just, it's a lot of time just in general. That's most of a conversation that's just been saved because of that pre-made video, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And another thing, gone are the days of digging through your mailroom or not seeing a message come through or not getting alerted of a message coming through. Because all your unread messages that are curated to projects that this is really configurable. I won't go into the weeds too much, but you can say, okay, I want any paralegal to get a notification when a new text message comes in on their case, whether a paralegal and a follower. Whatever that may be, you can curate it where your notification preferences come to the right person. And so, like, say myself, I'm assigned to this case, and a new text message comes in. A little red badge is going to pop up on this Chrome extension, which allows me just to click over and see, okay, I've got an unread message. It's going to pull me into that case, and I can just respond to that message. Once again, you're really going to like this, Derek, if you like Apple. Your entire conversation history with everybody is now lumped into this thing. And so if I need to text Andrew Hartley, here's a text message to Andrew Hartley. It's going to get posted into his FileVine project, and everything is going to be logged. And it's a lot easier to, jump into it just from here. Also, fresh text message. If you just want to send a message to a brand new number you don't have a contact in FileVine for, great. Everything pulls from FileVine. You can search. This is literally your contact list in FileVine. But you can also just manually type in a phone number and start texting with doctors or whoever it is you may need to also converse with.
That's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff around text messaging that I think really gives a lift to FileVine's core functionality.
It looks like also, Matt, we have a Q&A from Amy. Can anyone see the flyout grouping of the text messages, or only subscribers to the project?
Yeah, awesome question, Amy. That's configurable as well. If you want, admins can see everything. If you make them just a user, they can only have access to their projects. You can give them just admin access to conversations where they can see everything, or just access to their own ones that they're assigned to in FileVine. Hopefully that answered it. Please elaborate if it doesn't.
Awesome.
Troy's peppering in. Glad to have you, Troy. So bulk emails, bulk SMS, there's a lot of cool things around that. So I'm actually going to jump into this view of Hona because you can do that from here. Like, you're seeing that same view here. It's just like not as pretty. And so what you can do is you can filter down to a lot of cool things. Okay, let's just go motor vehicle accidents where it's in treatment and demand. You can filter down to that subset of clients. You can also, this is cool. Sorry, I'm nerding out. You can download a CSV from a FileVine report, upload that CSV to our system, and it'll extrapolate that same set of clients. And so if you want to send a really granular mass message to people that have a birthday in the month of December, a motor vehicle accidents, or were involved in this mass tort, you can build that list in FileVine, upload it here into Hona, and it's going to pull that exact same list and set you up to send a mass text message. Sending a mass text message is literally this simple. SMS or email, or both SMS and email is what a lot of clients do. You can pull their first name into it and a couple other things from within FileVine, and then just type out the message. You can either send now or schedule a time. So say you're building this at 12 p.m., you can send it to go the next day at noon. or you're building this not during a holiday, but on December 25th, you want a message to go out to all your clients. It's super simple. Just set it up, choose the list of people you want to send it to, whether that be all your clients or just a subset, and then build that message that you want them to see.
Perfect. Thank you. So
Sure.
actually, that was a great question because it is on our next slide to go through and answer as well, which I won't steal it back from you because there's a couple more. One common question is how do we send drip campaigns?
Yeah, that's awesome. So drip campaigns. We can build drip campaigns either how you just saw it, or additionally that are phase dependent. So let me jump into one and I'll show you. This is our back end. This is our advanced settings of FileVine equivalent, where you can build out your different project types. And so here's an example. We're in a personal injury case. Here's the video that clients will see. And you can actually just build it out. It's literally this simple. You want to embed a new video, click the embed video link and just post the link from YouTube or elsewhere. Choose your triggers. These are literally pulling right now out of our FileVine org. So we can choose the triggers that we want to trigger this phase here in Hona. Building out FAQs. And then down here in the other settings is actually where we have a phase visibility thing where you can hide a phase. This is common, like if litigation, you only litigate 20% of the time or even less, you might not want them to see that on their timeline in the future. So you can actually hide it until they reach that phase. And so a magic phase will just appear only when they get to the litigation phase. Drip notifications. These are cool. You can do it off of task completion. So you can say, essentially the logic is when this task A is complete during this phase of the case, during the treatment phase, for instance, send a text message that says this. And so that's one way to do it. But we also have time-based drip notifications. And so you can make those recurring or non-recurring. You can say the logic here is when it's been in the treatment phase for 14 days, send a text message that says, hey, John, this is your law firm. Just want to remind you to be treating for your injuries. Please do what the doctor asked you to do. It's really important for your claim. Please let us know if anything changes or you stop treating immediately. Thank you. And so you can make that recurring every 7 days, or at 14 days, say that. At 28 days, say something that's slightly different so it doesn't appear so robotic. A lot of really cool configuration you can do here. And because of that, our clients are seeing a lot of upside and strength for their client communications without having to do anything extra.
That's awesome. That makes it really convenient. So, because essentially I could go through and I could build a process to be able to capture for even more clients than I originally thought of. My goal was 90%, but now like litigation cases, we can have those phases shown and hidden, but only if it occur, or only if it's going to actually go through and occur for that client, which is really neat.
Absolutely.
I really like that.
Thank you. Yeah, we have oftentimes we integrate with other systems, but FileVine's like top of mind in a lot of our new features because we're so intimate with it and they've got so much good API support that we can do a lot of really cool technology around what they've built as a foundation. If it's cool, Derek, I'll answer a couple questions real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So the Hona Chrome extension will notify of any text. That is correct. You can configure, hey, we want email to come in anytime a new text comes in from a contact we don't know. And then that'll just appear in that same list of communications. We also have a feature, and this actually is like really FileVine like influenced, but you can set up a daily digest where it's like, here's every text you haven't replied to today, or here's every text that you haven't replied to that you haven't read today. And so there's some configuration for at the higher level where if an attorney wants to be able to know their, just see a list at 5 p.m. every day of the things that they didn't see or weren't responded to, magically it'll just appear in their email inbox and they can navigate from there. Is it possible to create a group message through Hona? Excellent question. It is possible to text multiple parties out of the same project, but today we're not able to actually connect people into a group message. We're working with our backend provider Twilio. We're working on some technology to make that happen because that is definitely on the roadmap for the next 3 to 6 months. Anonymous attendee says, is Hona included with the current FileVine subscription? It's a small surcharge. There is an additional charge to Hona. The integrations adds no extra charge. But at the end of the day, there will be a little bit added on to your technology spend if you choose to go forward with the firm. Building the
Perfect.
questionnaire. Let me show you. So the question is, how do you build the questionnaire option you previously mentioned into a phase? So here we have this forms. You'll see a bunch of forms that are not relevant, but maybe this intake could be a good example. So yeah, you can build it out question by question. Here's what this question is. This is a file upload type of field that they can do. We can make it required or not required, and it's as simple as, okay, file upload. Now the settings is to get to your question is where you can do it. And so it's like, okay, I want to remind them when this form goes incomplete, send a reminder every 3 business days up to 5 times. And then let's make this recurring. Okay, great. It's going to recur every 14 days for a maximum of 3 times during this phase right here. So every time when it enters the, you're going to see all of our different project types, but when it enters the motor vehicle accident project type treatment phase, send this out, but delay it an hour after it entered that phase. And so there's some delay things here too. So if you want to do 2 days later, it's just as simple as 48 hours after it enters that phase. Oh, 0 and 72. So you have up to 3 days delay, at least in this build out. So
I
yeah,
will say
go
that's
ahead.
very handy because I used to fat finger my phase changes, accidentally put it in the wrong one. So being able to go through and have some more control over that is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's as simple as that. And then you can actually digest all of the responses. And so we'll have clients that'll do almost like a marketing type of form where it's like, hi, we know you were involved in the Camp Lejeune tour. Do you know anybody else that doesn't have representation from an attorney yet or is not happy with the representation from their current attorney that served with you in the military during those years that you were, at Camp Lejeune? And so you can dig through the responses and kind of see what those responses are. Um, a lot of really cool stuff there.
Cool. Uh, I want to go through and because we're almost done with our how do I slide. One popular question is how do we automate Google reviews through it? If you could go through
Wonderful
and give us a
question.
breakdown, that would be really cool.
Yeah, sorry, I prematurely unshared my screen. Um, yes, so we put that in our reputation tab in the company settings. And so our reputation, I'll briefly touch. We also have net promoter score surveys that you can automate, when it leaves the treatment phase, send them a survey that says on a scale of 0 to 10 or 1 to 10, how likely are you to refer us to a friend or family member or whatever it may be. You can send those out automatically during different phases of the case. But to get to the Google review question, it's as simple as if you have multiple offices, you can add different offices, add review link, choose what the notification text will be when they get a request to review to this location. And then from there, you can actually set up these auto requests. I'll show you what that looks like. So you say, okay, for our project type personal injury, when it reaches the funded phase, delay 0 days for this location. And then let's remind 3 times every 2 days or whatever it may be. And here's also the message that's going to go out when that happens. So super easy to configure. You can choose, if you want to be like, okay, we want all of our clients for the next 3 weeks to get sent to our Denver location. Let's only send everyone to our Denver location on Google. You can just send out Denver for a couple of weeks until maybe it's caught up with some of your other locations, and you can kind of spread out the love between your different offices just by coming in here and changing. Yelp, we want a bunch of reviews on Yelp. I don't know if you ever would, but it's an option if you have Facebook pages or other places you're trying to garner reviews from.
Cool. So theoretically, I could go through and I could determine when my clients are the happiest, and then that's when I go through and send out my Google review to them to kind of boost my stars. That's
Exactly, and
cool.
that's where you see it in this funded phase. That's pretty common. It's like, oh, they just got their check; they're probably happy. And so that's what we see often. I will add the flow for these for this is actually really unique, and so it's not just they get sent your Google review link and they can leave whatever review they want. We don't want automatically clients to get text messages that are unhappy. And so what it does, it pulls them into Hona first, where they get a very similar 1 through 5 stars. If they choose 1 through 4, they get to leave their review and your team gets it internally. If they choose five, it's actually going to just auto route them to your Google page or whatever review page you tied it to. And so only those 5-star ones. It's kind of doing like, I wouldn't say screening or gating, but it's only allowing the best of the reviews to make it to Google. So that's a really cool feature to it, so that you don't worry about automatically sending unhappy clients Google review links.
Well, and it gives you a chance to be able to go through then and help remedy whatever the issue may be with that client
Exactly. Like
instead of
we have,
after the fact.
yeah, we have a law firm that'll just dig in and like immediately respond or give them a call and be like, hey, we're sorry you had that experience. We really appreciate it. Is there anything we can do to make it right? Great. We'll have a talk with so and so about whatever it is they talked about. And then if they're happy, like after that call, like, hey, we really appreciate it. It's like, great. And I understand if you don't want to leave us a good Google review, but we'd love to send you the link right now and have you leave us a Google review. And so remedying them can also help you out with those 5-star reviews and helping the unhappy clients come to a happy state. Since I'm in here, this is so exciting and so new. We can pull birth dates from every one of your clients. And so what you can do is you can build out a birthday message. This is a very simple one. But down here you can say, okay, only projects that are in progress and only on cases where the Hona or milestones is enabled. And then only for these project types. So there's some filter where you can send out birthday messages completely automatically. We have firms that are embedding or doing a video link to like a YouTube video of like this specific firm has a very, I wouldn't say goofy, but a funny partner who made a birthday video. And so they have a link to a YouTube video of the partner like doing a confetti cannon and blowing one of those kazoo things, just to say happy birthday. We're so happy that we get to work with you. So there's some fun stuff you can do around this. Once again, all automatically.
Cool. So it looks like, well, we got through our main set for it, so we're good for Q&As. We're good to go through and answer those handful of ones that are in there. First one: do all messages from Hona get saved in the project's history?
Yes, Vicky. Everything gets saved in the project history. It'll get put right into the activity feed. And vice versa. And additionally, like photos, images, anything that they send in through our system gets put into the documents tab. So anything that comes into Hona is going to get posted into FileVine as well, including things like they left the review and stuff like that. It's going to just throw into your activity feed.
That's a huge time save as well. Just saving the step of having to upload a document.
Totally. The days of email and downloading and then uploading to FileVine hopefully is over. You can move everything to text messaging and kind of the forms system we built. I see the next one. Can Hona send messages via event category without having the texting subscription option? I'm not quite sure. Do you understand what that means, Derek?
I think and correct me if I'm wrong, Vicky, but it sounds like you're wanting to go through and be able to send messages to the client for those updates, but not actually be able to go through and have the conversations. I think that might be what it is. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, Vicky.
Yeah. I'll move on, but if you care to elaborate, Vicky, or if that didn't help out, then we can always jump back to that. I see a couple messages about bilingual. Yes. So because the way our app is built, we actually, like, when they go into our app, it's going to auto translate everything to their preferences. Now that's one way you can do it. We can also come from a field that you put in FileVine that says, language preference, Spanish. Great. We're going to give them the Spanish personal injury videos and Spanish personal injury text messages and all that stuff. And so you can segment it out with any field within FileVine to say, okay, this is a Spanish client or this is a Portuguese client. And we have a lot of firms doing it both ways. But great question. Does the client know the text is coming from the firm, or does it show it's coming from a random number? We buy a number on your behalf as soon as you become a client. We can also host if you already have a number that you would like us to host. So there's a couple ways to do that. And then also we can set it up where it sends your contact card to the client with a logo and stuff, and so it prompts them to save the contact. So there's a couple ways to make sure they know it's coming from your law firm. But almost all of the messaging is going to say your law firm's name in the text message itself. But it is a complete number that we can purchase either a local code or toll free, depending on how you plan to use Hona. If you're doing a lot of marketing, we usually recommend a toll free. That way, your beloved like law firm phone number doesn't get marked as spam. But yes, that which can happen. I mean, there's a lot of laws around it, and so we're here to consult whatever the best solution is for you guys, phone number wise. Adding the Chrome extension to FileVine, it's actually something you do through FileVine. Hona Chrome extension. It's actually just as simple as here's Hona, here's your business app. It's in the Chrome store. Right now I have it on Chrome. You can remove it. You will have to set up an account and all that for it to all work alongside FileVine. But yes, it's as simple as just through Google, you'll be able to find it. And there's the form section and add-on. I'm not seeing it in my firm's Hona portal. Wonderful question. Yes, it's a newer feature, and it's a small add-on. It's not anything large, but yeah, there's a small add-on, and you can reach out to your customer success manager if you do need assistance or want to see it more in depth and ask more questions. I'd like to know if I can send an event through Hona to remind the client to let a doctor's appointment without having the texting subscription through Hona. We only have texting through FileVine. I hope that makes better sense. Yes, if you don't get our two-way texting feature, the events is kind of separate. And so those update text messages and stuff like that, like the portal itself, would also work for the events portion of Hona. You don't have to start using Hona for two-way texting in order to use events.
Awesome.
Wonderful. I will just share, happy to stay on and answer anything else, but our website is Hona.com. If you want to see anything else, if you're already a client, please just reach out to your customer success manager, and we're always happy to jump on a call, walk you through new features, walk you through what it would look like to set up, and if there are additional costs. But if you are not currently working with us already, we'd love to show you more and kind of get your clients the experience that we've shown today. It's really a special thing, and our clients are seeing increases in Google reviews. They're seeing increases in client referrals. They're actually getting more referrals from their referring attorneys because they know that they're going to treat their clients in a really special way. And so there's a lot of really cool upside that's kind of like a down the road long-term play that your brand is just going to be uplifted from this experience that you give your clients. So if you want to see more or schedule something with our team, you can just request a demo here on our website, and we'll be in touch really shortly to set that up.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. So our Q&As, which if any more come in, we could probably still go through and answer them. But I'll go on to is Hona on social media? That's a question for you, Matt.
Yes, we are. A lot of our handles are Hona Software. So at Hona Software is one of the more common ones. I think almost all of them have that, maybe barring LinkedIn. I don't know what we have on LinkedIn. But yes, we're on all the big ones.
Cool. And then there is, Catherine's looking to get a list of updates for Hona.
Oh, great. Catherine, yes. We have a marketing newsletter that goes out to most people every month. And so if they're not getting those, please let myself or your customer success manager know. And that way we can add you to that list where you get client updates and updates about the new features we have coming out.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So FileVine magic wand. If you could wave a magic wand, what would you change about your FileVine? I don't know. Some of y'all might already know about our magic box of skills. Well, this is different. It's our magic wand now. And it's a 30-minute work session with the Vine Skills team. Asia has gone through and has added that to our chat. So definitely go through and click that out. And really, this is a time to be able to go and talk with the Vine Skills team. We are an array of different individuals with different backgrounds, a lot of legal experience and a lot of FileVine experience. So I encourage you, vineskills.com/magic wand. Take advantage of that. I know I love helping. So definitely take us up on it. It's a great time for you to go through and make some improvements to your FileVine.
Absolutely. And I will say that, sorry, Derek. I was gonna cut in because you're not doing yourself
You're
justice and
good.
your team justice. Like Vine Skills is awesome. You guys know the product. I know the product quite well, and I get on with Vine Skills people, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you could do that in FileVine, or I didn't realize it was that easy to set up. Or you guys have built so many cool templates and so much cool stuff around just because you've helped thousands of FileVine users. Um, you guys really know your stuff, and so I think this is a really generous offering of like a 30-minute working session of like come to you with problems and wave the magic wand and make it work. So to all those Hona clients on the webinar, please take them up on that. You'll be really impressed with their team.
Thank you, Matt. Uh, Definitely appreciate that. We do have a lot of fun, smart, entertaining also team members because we're very helpful and positive over here at Vine Skills, which we love to help. I know I said that. So this last slide, we have our free resources. There's a library of training videos on the vineskills.com. You can go through and it's pretty simple to get to. Let me see if I can go through and just get y'all to. There we go. Oh, sorry. Don't look at the store. This is me just always shopping for awesome gear. Okay. So you can come over to learn, and then we have our FileVine training videos right there. We have our different categories. So if you have any questions and want to know anything or want to see any of our past free help videos, because we do these also every week, definitely come here. Free Help Wednesdays. Actually, this next Free Help Wednesday is going to be starting here in about 8 minutes, and I'll be going through and I'll be doing the free help today for preview. So definitely come join it. Take advantage of those resources, and always just reach out if you want help with something. I know for me, I spend all my time in FileVine and I've seen so many things work and so many things fail. Definitely take advantage of that magic wand, and we'll be happy to go through and help you out. And I think that is that the end of our slides? Awesome. All right.
Great.
Cool. And it doesn't look like we have any more questions in our Q&A. I guess unless anyone has anything left to say, I just want to go through it. I want to thank you, Matt, for doing this today with me. This is a lot of fun. I knew it would be. So I really appreciate your time and you going through and talking about all of these and these new features that I'm going to have to go play with now.
Yes, and I hope my you guys are a lot like me. We're nerds at heart, so I like building technology, and I like that we're building something that's so different than what anyone else is building. So, client communication is important. I'll end on that, and a lot of things happen right in firms that do it well. It builds a very strong brand and really helps your clients feel they're being taken care of.
Right. Awesome. Looks like we have just one more question and then I'll go through and I'll send this link over to you, Vicky, for the learn, and then we'll let y'all go get your time back for the day. Awesome. So yeah, definitely just give us a holler if y'all need anything. And thank you again, Matt. I really appreciate you.
Of course, and thank you all. Have a great day.